Today we've got flap discs, grinding discs, cutoff wheels, and I'll give you my thoughts on the brand Blackhawk. All that and more on Part-Time Fab. Brought to you by Empire Abrasives. Hey YouTube, and welcome back to Part-Time Fab. I'm Sean. So thanks for tuning in to this review today. I'm really going to get into flap discs, grinding discs, and cutoff wheels. I'm going to tell you a little bit about them, and then we're going to get into a real hardcore review on the brand Blackhawk. So what are these things? Well, basically, I think a lot of people have seen these, but basically, flap discs, they're a disc made of different types of materials, sometimes plastic, sometimes it's a composite. This appears to be some type of composite with, you know what a composite is, just a woven material with some type of rosin to make it hard. And then they glue individual slivers of sandpaper, or it's not exactly sandpaper, but it's a sandpaper-like material onto a disc. And then you mount this on your angle grinder and it spins really quick, and it is an awesome tool for any fab shop. So I know you can't see this real well, so I'm going to include a little clip probably over here. As you can see, this little disc, it's got these little sheets of sandpaper, and this is the arbor area. You just fit that onto your angle grinder and go to town. And much in the same way, here is a cutoff wheel. This is the same thing, except it's really thin and you can cut through just about anything. I've been putting these on my angle grinder and cutting through 3/16 steel to make some gussets for a big project I've been working on. Really handy, makes a really super nice cut, and it's just been awesome. I mean, the amount of time that I spend with my cut, then it's done. There's no grinding like if you were using a cutting torch. You know, no matter how good you really are, there's still going to be some edges there you're probably going to have to clean up to make it nice. Well, with this cutoff wheel, cuts those clean and straight, and there's no really procedures you got to do afterwards to make it usable. And then most people know what a grinding disc is. These things remove a ton of material really quick. These, I believe, are 1/4 inch thick, used on stainless steel, regular carbon-based steel. They're really awesome. They do the job for any fab shop. These are a must-have, especially these flap discs. Must-have. Now with these flap discs, yes, they come in mini grits. We'll get to that in just a minute. But something that a lot of people don't know is they come in this type, T27, or the T for type, or T29. And I hope you can see that. It is right there. This is a T27. Now, what the heck does that mean? Well, that means that it's basically flat. It is used to sand flat material. I think anywhere from 0 to 15 degrees. That's what this is mainly made for. It does a really good job on those flatter surfaces. Now, let me get a T29 and I'll bring it over here. Now this, on the other hand, is a T29. Now as you can see, it is curved. I know you can't see that over there, so I hope to include this video in it, but you can really see how curved this is right here compared to the flatness of that T27. So if you've got anything that's from 15 degrees up to 30, what the websites that I've been to say is 30 degrees, but basically, you know, anything that has some curve to it, you would use this T29 for. It would allow you to get in there and get those curves really well. So according to the website, these are used for carbon-based steels, you know, regular mild steel, stainless steel, or iron, but not aluminum. You would not want to use these particular discs. Maybe the cutoff wheel you could use for aluminum, but these flat discs or grinding discs you do not want to use for aluminum. The aluminum is so soft that it would embed itself into these fibers and basically just gum up the works and render them useless, basically. There's another type of flat disc that's meant for aluminum, but I don't do any aluminum work really, so I don't have any to show today. And another thing to note on these, when if you're using these, you know, if your shop is primarily mild steel like mine is, it really doesn't matter a whole lot. But if you work with stainless, mild steel, and aluminum, you should keep those discs separate. That's really best practice, because if you're cutting mild steel with this and then you go over and cut some stainless, you're going to embed some mild steel material into your stainless, and it's going to mess up your welds. But I guess if you're not welding, it doesn't really matter, but probably a lot of times you'll be cleaning edges up to prep them for welding. So just keep that in mind. It's not a have to, but it's just a best practice. Now these grinding discs, I think typically they're grit. They're not really rated in a grit, although I have seen some with the grit number on them. Although I do not see that on this disc. I think it's somewhere around 24 is what I've seen in the past, but these do not have a grit. But again, it's a grinding disc. It's made to be extremely aggressive and remove just a massive amount of material quick as possible. Now when you get into talking about the flat discs, that's a little different. I have seen grits anywhere from 24, really, 24, all the way up to 220. You know, when you're smoothing out or blending, deburring, you know, you start with the low grit and work your way up to the high grit. That gets the most amount of material removed, and then when you move into those high grits, that makes the finish that much better, that much cleaner, and ready to paint or something like that. You know, if you're working on other things, you know, dumpsters, gates, you know, they don't have to be that visually appealing. So probably wouldn't be working with 220, maybe not even 120, but definitely some 40 grit or 60 or 80 to remove a lot of material quickly, so you can move on to the next joint and get that done. So I guess, what are these things made out of? Well, there's 3 different types that I'm aware of, and that is aluminum oxide, zirconium alumina, and ceramic alumina. Now these happen to be the zirconia, because that's typically what you use for mild steel, from what I understand. The aluminum oxide is really used for wood and stuff like that. That's what I've read. I've never actually used one From the name, I would think that's what you used on aluminum, but I'm not sure. That's just the notes and stuff that I found online. But now these zirconium, this is definitely what you use on mild steel, and for a price, you know, to balance the price versus the life durability, you know, this is what, you know, kind of balances out. When you get into those ceramics, they have probably the longest life and the best cutting, but they're quite a bit more expensive. I'm not sure on the neighborhood of how much more expensive, but they are listed more expensive. So I think everybody knows that, you know, your grinding discs would remove the most material and would leave the most gouges or bad spots in the metal. And then your flap discs, you would utilize those to make it cleaner, remove less material. I use these for cleanup work, basically to get rid of rust, mill scale, and I do use them to bevel before I weld. Yeah, I know you could probably use a grinding disc for that, but when I say these are gentler than the grinding disc, they're not much gentler. I mean, they really will bevel and remove a lot of material quickly. So just be aware of that. You know, don't go in there whole hog and just, you know, go to town. You will remove a lot of material with these. As I'd mentioned, you know, some of the uses of these, you know, deburring, chamfering, removing rust, removing paint. One thing I will advise you is if you're cleaning up some material and it's got a lot of oil on it, you definitely want to remove that oil, because it will embed itself on your flap disc. I got one here. I'll include a little clip. You can see, just compare those two. This one is highly worn, but I didn't clean a lot of the oil off before I used this, and it's really caked in there. This particular disc is still working pretty good, but I really have abused it by running it through a lot of oil and stuff. So clean that oil off before you start getting in there and grinding your mill scale and your rust off. So I guess now, with everything that you do in the shop, safety. Safety is huge. These are a must. Typically, I recommend you, if you're in the shop, if anybody's in the shop with you, safety glasses, wear them. They'll protect you from an ER visit or possibly losing an eye. You know, I think these right here cost $3, and they're great, but this is really the bare minimum. Next step up from that is to wear a face shield when using these discs, any of these discs. And I don't mean just this. I mean you wear these under your face shield. It really is the only way to go. I don't know how many times that I've been wearing these and wearing this, and I feel something brush right along the side of my eyebrow or my face. Those sparks and pieces of metal shards, they come off of there spinning, and they curve, and they will and do curve in behind your safety gear. Now, along those lines, these discs are held by glues, rosin, you know, some type of material that I know you do not want to breathe in. This stuff, when you're grinding with it, is flying through the air. Metal is flying through the air, and I highly recommend you get a respirator. I've got this by 3M. It's super great. I can't push this enough. You know, safety glasses, face shield. Yeah, I know these are a pain in the butt to wear, and they fog up, but you really should use them. You just take my word for it. Really invest in these. I think I got this one from Amazon, 20 bucks, 22 bucks. Amazon shipping, Prime Amazon shipping, you know, just get one, it'll save you. This right here, same thing, I think $25. These replacement cartridges here, they're cheap too. It lasts a really long time. You should really use these. Highly recommend using all this safety equipment. All right, now I'm going to try and pop up a screen over here of me demonstrating some of these. So while that's running, I'm going to tell you about a project I did the other day. And we're going to go back to this disc that was so dirty that we showed a minute ago. And I'll try and show that again. I had a project that I didn't film for a client. I didn't ask them if I could film it, but it was a rather large project. And if you're subscribed to my channel, you know that the last few weeks I've been kind of MIA. But it was a really large project. I got some of these discs and I was giving them a try. So I had to clean, and I had to clean 192 feet of half-inch or inch and a half square tubing. Now I did this on purpose because I really wanted to torture test this thing. So I cleaned 192 feet of inch and a half wide. Now don't multiply that times 4 for each side because I already have, but so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tubes, and they were about 8 feet long. And I cleaned all of those tubes, cleaned the rust off, mill scale, and as I pointed out, some oil too. Cleaned all of that off with one disc. Now, I don't know what kind of experiences you've had with discs in the past, but that was a lot of cleaning for one disc. I also cleaned another piece with this disc, and it was 4.5 inches wide, or 4.5 inch wide square tubing, and it was also 8 feet long. And I cleaned that with this one too. So that's quite a bit of rust removal, mill scale removal, all with this one disc. And I'll just tell you, I'm still on this disc. I'm still using it. It is not gone by no means. There's still looks to be I don't know, maybe a quarter of the flaps left, as you can see right. I'm not sure if you can see that. I hope you can. About a quarter left before you get down to the bare composite hub. But I really couldn't be happier with these things. They have really served me well on my big project. But you know, they've been really great. Okay, so these discs, these Blackhawk discs, came from Empire Abrasives. And I checked their website before making this video, and I don't want to get any of this wrong, so I'm going to kind of read some here. But as of the filming of this video, they sell these in packs of 10. And when you buy a pack, they're all the same grit. So this is like a 40 grit, 4.5 inch. You would buy a pack of 10, and the 10 would be $19.99. And that's, you'd buy the T27s, and you'd buy a pack of T29s if you want a different size, or the different surfaces that they're for. The T27s come in 40 grit and 80 grit. They may have more. These were just what was listed on their website today, but 40 and 80. And then the T29s come in 40, 60, 80, and 120. That's a wide assortment there. And you know, for 19 bucks, when you compare that against a DeWalt brand that's $8 and some change, maybe it's almost $9 at one of your big box stores. And one of these discs, well, let's say you bought a pack, just one pack, so that's $19.99, and shipping on their website was $4.50. So that makes the price of one of these discs about $2.50, and that's if you just buy 10. So if you compare that against the big name brand, that tells you, you know, these are not cheap. These are inexpensive discs. Cheap discs are really bad. I've used some cheap discs before. They actually come apart and they fray really bad. You know, this is not that. I've used these quite extensively, as you can tell, and I am just, you know, for $1.99 plus shipping per disc, you just can't beat that. I've used these for about, I don't know, couple 3 weeks now. I just am impressed, to say the least. If they work for me, I'm sure when you get a pack, they'll work for you too. I'm gonna put a link down below. I'm gonna put a link in the description below, and probably try to put a click here, and that should take you over to their webpage too, and let you check them out. I've went over there to their website and got a little information. You know, they're in New York, which is actually kind of close to me. That's something that the shipping, they were ground shipping for $4.50, but I got them like in 3 days. It's been a couple of weeks ago, but I know it was 2 or 3 days that I got these. It was real quick shipping. For something else I found on their website is they deal directly with the factories that produce these things. So I guess that's how they keep the costs down. They're not buying them from somebody else who is buying them from somebody else. You know, they're putting out the bids to facilities to make these, I guess, for them. And you know, it all comes down to that price point. For $1.99 a disc, I've really been blown away by the sheer performance of this thing. But like I said, I'm going to include a link below in the description, and if you want to click here to head on over to their website and give them a check, or check out their stuff. They've got, besides the cutoff wheels and the flap discs and the grinding discs, they got a bunch more stuff, wire wheels, just, you know, all kinds of stuff. And the prices are really good. Like I said, I'm just, by the price of these things. Oh, I don't think I told you the price of the grinding discs. These are $1 a piece, and you can buy these individually. The cutting discs, they're I think they're $19.95 for a pack of 25. So, you know, a little bit less than $1 a piece, but still, for what I've been cutting, 3/16 plate, and I'll cut right through. It really is just an awesome straight cut. So easy to do with that. But we'll get on out of here. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did like the video, give me a thumbs up. If you thought it sucked, give me a thumbs down. And as always, please subscribe. Or if you thought this video might be helpful to somebody else, share it out on social media. If you thought, if you thought anything about these, I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. If you thought I got something wrong, put it in the comments below, and maybe we'll do a follow-up later. And if I get any comments and see how people like these, let me know if you've used them in the past. Let me know if you liked them, or if you didn't like them. Let me know. We've got a sharing the community. We've got a community, and we're sharing information. And things that work for me is what I'm passing on to you. So, but again, don't forget to subscribe. Give a thumbs up, thumbs down, and we'll see you next time on Part-Time Fab. Thanks for watching.